everyone, so it is Sky here today with Cindy, and today we are going to do a video about grooming. I've had a lot of questions about this, which I guess it's not too surprising seeing that I have a standard poodle and I do the grooming for my guide dog myself. We're going to show you how we do that, and Cindy isn't the biggest fan of grooming in the world, but she also doesn't hate it. It's kind of like she's apathetic towards it. She's not a fan, but she'll live. Before I start, I'll just tell you guys that I am grooming her on a tarp here. I put it in front of my Christmas tree because it's festive and you guys deserve a little bit of festivity. Come here, Cindy. So just to let you guys know, I do this very unorthodoxly. Normally when you groom on a table. You blow dry the dog so that its hair's super fluffy. So what I do with Cindy is I give her a bath the day before, because you always need to give your dog a bath before, or else the oils in their skin can really gunk up the blades of your razors. So I gave her a bath. Oh yeah, I know. See, she's just moaning over here. So I gave her a bath, and then I let her air dry, snuggled her all up. This morning, I took her and I combed her all out. She's not knotted. If it's not uniform and combed out and it's curly, you're gonna be able, or when you shave her, some of the curls will pop up afterwards. It'll look very uneven. So make sure you comb them out the day of at the very least. So again, I'm shaving her on a tarp, and the tarp is actually on the carpet because it's more comfortable for both of us that way. Properly, you're supposed to shave them on a grooming table and have them stand. And then you have, I think it's called a grooming leash or something, but it's something you can put around their neck or adjust to go around their tummy to make them stand, like that kind of stuff. I let Cindy just chill while I groom her, which you guys are going to see. So she has a water bowl over there for when she gets thirsty. I did take her outside, so she's all relieved. She's eaten breakfast, obviously. She's all ready for the groom. This is the razor I bought. Get a really nice razor because it's an investment. Like, I've groomed Cindy and probably spent what would normally be over $500 on her grooming, and I probably spent $150 on this razor. Yeah, I got this off Amazon. Really, really nice. It's a Andes Ultra Edge. I guess it's a special edition. I didn't know that. Anyway, yeah, so we have that. And then here are all the blades for the Andes. So when you're cutting a dog, if you don't know, the different blades are going to be different hair. And the way that dog blades work is that the larger the number, the shorter the blades. So a 1 is going to leave really long hair. A 10 is going to be very, very short. Then you go even higher, like I think it goes up to 40 or something, and that's like a surgical clip, like no hair. It is important to note that I get FC blades, finish cut, I think it stands for, a finish clip. Pretty much what I was told, because I'm not a professional, was that the FC blades help your dog from getting cut by the razors, because it is possible to get your dog's skin caught in the razors. You definitely do not want to do that. So here's a good example. I do have just a normal 5 blade, which I'll show you right here. I have a normal 5 FC blade. Sorry, Cindy's walking around over there. So you can kind of see the difference in the razors here, right? This one is going to be easier for the skin to get clipped because it's not as uniform and it can get caught in these. So just pretty much, especially if you're kind of a newbie or you haven't been doing it very much or you're just getting into it, get FC blades. Do not get just normal blades. That's really important. I think that says 3.5 or 3 3/4 or something like that. That's my longest blade, so the hair is going to be longest here. Then I have my 5 blade, which I just showed you guys in the 5 FC blade. I normally use the FC, of course. These 2 blades I use for the body of the coat, so her normal shave. Then we have this blade, which is a 10. I use this for her face, for sanitary, for paws. And then I have this little toe blade. The toe blade is for getting between her paw pads pretty much, and it heats up really fast. So all of these are gonna heat up pretty fast when I use them. So when I groom Cindy, I interchange blades depending on how hot they're getting, because the blades do heat up because they vibrate and they're metal. So always switch blades or get more than 1 blade if you really need to. I'm planning on getting another toe blade and maybe another 10. You always want to oil these blades. So after you use them every single time, oil them, and then they come with oil. There's special oil you can get for them to keep them working. You need them to be working for you. You don't want them to be all gunked up with hair and oil and stuff like that. So I also have 2 pairs of scissors. This is an actual grooming pair of scissors that I got. And then I also have these. These are normal scissors that I have, and I use them if I don't really need to do anything super precise. I find different scissors are useful for different things. We are going to start clipping her now. So today, because it's winter, I'm actually only going to clip her face and her paws, and then a sanitary clip, which is her tummy and everything. So I'm going to let you guys watch that and kind of get a sense for how we clip Cindy. And it's super unorthodox again, and not exactly the proper way, but it works for us. And that's what's most important. Now, just to describe for my friends who might not be able to see what's happening, I'm taking the blade and I'm tracing a line around her wrist, right about where her dew claw is, and going around so that I have a point of where I'm shaving her. And then once I have that kind of laid out with the razor, I'm able to work down to her toes and just shave up. So if that makes sense, the blade is going up to that point that I made around her wrist. And that's how you clean a foot. So that's what we're doing right now. We're just shaving her foot and making sure it's nice and clean. This footage is sped up, so for the next little while, you're just seeing me get between her paw pads and between her toes. Okay, so now I'm switching to a toe blade. The toe blade is, of course, smaller, and it's able to reach that hair that grows right in between the toes and right in between the paw pads. So you want to make sure to get this hair, as I've said, because it can get caught in things and things can get caught in it, and you just want it to be clean for safety reasons and sanitary reasons. So we're just making sure we get all of that hair out, and this is sped up footage of us working between the different toes, working around the nails, working under the paw pads, and just using that toe blade as fast as we can because it does heat up pretty quickly. Cindy has laid down now. She's given up looking at what I'm doing and has flopped over on her side while I'm working on her foot. I'm now using my hand to make sure I can get out most of the hair that I shaved but might not have fallen out. I now have scissors, and I'm using the grooming scissors with the little ball on top, and I am looking at hair that I might have missed with the razor because I am not a professional, and I am clipping those hairs that are sticking out, the strands of hair that just weren't easy to get with the razor, and I'm being very careful to feel with my fingers where the hair is before I clip. And of course you probably just heard the razor get on because I'm now working on the second foot. Going through the same process, tracing the line around the wrist, and then using the razor to make sure I clean that foot up. And right now I'm using the normal 10 blade, and then I am pretty quickly here going to switch to my toe blade. Of course I have the scissors again, clipping hair, and there we go. So her front 2 feet in sped up motion, it does not take that fast, are done. Okay, so just for funsies, I'm not showing you guys the back feet because I already showed you the front, but this is both of Cindy's back paws though, and I've done one and haven't done the other, and this is just to show you the big difference. And this is why we do it, because we don't want any hair getting caught in escalators. And of course I don't do it perfectly, but you see there's not really any hair sticking out that can get caught in there, whereas in this one, this is all hair in the insides, hair sticking out here between the paws. We want to get all that hair out before it can get stuck in anything or things can get caught in it. Yeah, so that's just to show you guys a difference of what the paws look like before and after. Alright, same idea, except now I have my larger blade that's about 3.5. I'm just shaving around that line I made originally on the wrist so that the hair tapers off a little more naturally. I'm then cutting with the scissors to make sure everything is nice and lined up, and now we have Cindy's head. I'm using scissors to cut right around the hair right around her eyes because it was falling into her eyes a little bit with her big afro. Cindy has a poofy afro on the top of her head. It's kind of cute. I love petting it, and it's nice and fluffy, but it has to be round and not get too shaggy, so right now we're just using the scissors. And now we have our razor. So Poodle's face normally is clipped to look clean, which means it's shorter around the face so that their long hair doesn't get food caught in their mouths and their eyes and stuff like that. So right now I'm shaving lines right down from her ears to the middle of her throat below her chin on both sides so that the lines meet up right under her chin. That serves as my point to where her face should be short, and then I take the 10 and shave carefully all around her face, up and around her muzzle, in her ears. I'm just getting all over her face right here and making sure it's nice and short and sanitary and looking good. Cindy's being a trooper here. She's just letting me grab her face, clip it with scissors, and then I give her a nice scratch at the very end. Now, Cindy's getting a nice comb. So at the end, she has lots of hair everywhere, and I want to kind of comb all that hair that I shaved off of her coat. She doesn't shed, but there's lots of leftover hair after she gets groomed. So I'm just combing her right now with a slicker brush, a large slicker brush across her back. She's yawning and just looking at the camera like the princess she is. I'm also getting her legs with a smaller slicker brush. I leave her legs longer, so I need to be careful though because they're a little more sensitive to being combed. I'm now combing her tail with a normal comb. Her tail is a lot longer than the rest of her body. It's feathered, so I need to comb it with something that's going to make sure to get all those knots out. I'm giving Cindy a nice pat now to tell her she's a good girl. Oh, now I got more scissors because it seems I found something else I wanted to cut off on her head. I'm always doing little finishing touches like that throughout the grooming session. Usually even the next few days if I find something little, I'll take a pair of scissors to it. Cindy's being a trooper and just looking at me while I cut around her eyes. I'm very careful, of course. You always want to cut with the scissors facing away from the eye, obviously. I'm giving the camera a thumbs up and Cindy has decided to lick the thumb up. Sandy, was that fun? No. Was that not fun? Was that not fun? Do you feel all nice and trimmed now? Now Cindy's all done, all nice and trimmed. That is, normally I do her whole body, and doing her whole body is actually really easy because, the easiest part to do is her body. You just get a big blade and just shave it all off. I did all the finicky parts today that she doesn't like me to do, but yeah. So that is how we shave a Cindy, and she did really good. Cindy, you did so good. Good girl. Good job. Good job. But yeah, that's how I shave my dog. Alright guys, hope that helped a little bit. Bye.